Hey everyone, welcome to Watch It Played. My name is Rodney Smith. At the time of this recording, I know I've been gone for about 2 weeks, and that means you haven't been seeing very much in the way of new content on the channel, but I'm back. And some things have changed here, as you've probably noticed. I'm right now sitting in the newly renovated space for Watch It Played. So I'm not actually doing a tutorial for the game Mule. I just set this up because I'm doing a little bit of testing in here, and I thought, well, I'll record some of this testing just to give you guys an introduction to the new space as well. When I used to shoot my videos, I did it in my open, unfinished, cavernous basement. Well, I'm still in that basement, but now I've got walls and a ceiling, floors. It provides a lot more room to pull the camera back, as you can see. Normally, if I did this before, you would have seen, recycling, my furnace. Over here, there would have been, well, just a variety of Rubbermaid storage containers, cardboard boxes, a hockey net, and so on. Now there's none of that. I can pull this camera back. I can pretty much shoot from any angle I want in here, which is going to be really, really nice. And it's also just a lot less distracting not to look out past the camera and see all of my junk. So that's nice. I do notice that in this room, it feels like there's a bit more of an echo. And that's probably because it's a bit more squared off. So I'm going to try to hang some things to cut down on that for future videos. But again, that's kind of the purpose of this video, is just to test things out. Also, these lights that I have on stands are going to be affixed to the ceiling when I'm done, so I won't have the stands in the way, which will be kind of nice. I'm going to get a few different metal rods I can screw them into, and then I can move them around the room depending on what angle I'm going to shoot from. In fact, let me show you one of the other shooting angles that we can do in this room that I'm thinking of using for table talk and other casual kinds of content we might create. Well, here is a fun little space. This is one of the corners of the studio that we were just in, just from a different angle. Anyway, I don't have a name for this space yet. Well, not that I'm saying a person should name each corner in every room of their house, but I figure I'll call this area something. Anyway, that's besides the point. You can see here we have some games on shelves. We also have some mementos back here, including the picture of a diplomatic skeleton from our Small World playthrough from several years ago. Now, normally I don't shoot in front of game shelves. That's been a conscious decision that I made when doing the tutorial videos and gameplay episodes, because I know that all these beautiful colored covers can be a little bit of a distraction, right? But I figured, as I said before, for some of the more casual content like table talk and maybe other things that we'll be doing in the future, this is kind of a nice, bright, colorful space. And I've got a little table here. I've got a spot for a drink. There's room here for Pep to sit as well if we're doing something together. But there's also a very practical reason for the games on the shelves. I need to store my games somewhere in this house. We don't want them taking over every room. So we decided that having them down here in the studio was kind of a practical and a good idea. I should mention, that's actually one of the considerations when we were talking about doing these renovations. We want this to be a functional living space as well, not just a studio for the purposes of Watch It Played. I want people to be able to come here and visit, and friends and family can come down, we can grab a game off the shelf and go sit at the table and play. So I want this room to be practical, not just like a sterile studio or something, right? And again, once I get these lights mounted on the ceilings, then they'll be out of people's way, and it will be a space you can just kind of walk freely around in, which I think will be kind of nice. Also, I always wanted Watch It Played to be kind of warm, friendly, inviting space. I want when you tune into the show and we're going to teach and learn a game together, that you feel like you've been invited into my home and you're sitting down for 30 minutes or so and we're going to learn a game together, right? So I kind of wanted to maintain that in the look of this space. So let's go back to the main shooting area. I want to show you another setup that we can do from that angle as well. One of the things I'm sure you noticed at the beginning of this video, because it would be impossible to miss, is that we have a new table to shoot videos on. And this is from Geek & Son. They're a board gaming table manufacturer. And this has a couple of notable features over our old table. First of all, this one isn't warped. The other one was. This one also has 2 levels to shoot on, which is going to be really nice because normally if I have a gameplay going and then I want to shoot a tutorial video, that can be a little bit of a hassle, especially since some games are hard to pick up and relocate. So now we can shoot our gameplay videos on the lower level and then the tutorials on the higher level. And I have a couple of options for that. I have these wooden slats like you'd normally set up, say, for a dining room table. But I also have another custom sort of fabric level that's going to go up here as well, which we're just working on, and that will probably appear in our next tutorial video. Or we might shoot just on this, just depending on how the timing of that goes. Anyway, if you have any interest in this particular table, or Geek & Son tables in general, I'm going to put a link in the description of the video to their website. I'm also going to do a separate video talking all about the features of this particular table, which you'll be able to check out sometime in the near future. Also in this space, you can see here I shut the barn doors. So that also creates a different backdrop here for this. Let me point out a couple other features in this room that are maybe things you won't normally see in the show, but are certainly going to make a difference for me. Okay, first of all, to be clear, I recognize the things I'm about to show you won't mean anything to anyone else, but just indulge me. These are part of the renovations, so I thought I would show you. We now have a storage area here for things like microphones, cords, memory sticks, the cameras, you know, tripods, you name it, which is really nice because before those things were kind of scattered all around the basement. Now we have one location for them. In fact, this pops off and it creates a space here to stack the wooden slats when we're not using those in the table. Those wooden slats, by the way, were previously being stored under my bed upstairs. So it's nice to have a spot that's a little closer. And this is a lovely thing. This is a heater. I know I've talked about it before, so I won't belabor the point, but it was cool-ish down here before we finished off this area of the basement because I couldn't really run the heater down here. It made too much noise for the camera. This makes no sound at all. So we can have it nice and like a human temperature in here, which I know Pep is really going to like, and any other co-host who joins me. So that's a nice adjustment. Also, this is a small thing, but we have several more outlets around the room. I had one outlet before I think I was plugging everything into with like a big power cord. Now we have outlets everywhere, in the ceilings and the walls and all the rest of it. Like I said, I know those things don't matter to you, but they make a big difference for me, which is why we incorporated those into the design. Well, there you have it, a quick tour of the space, but I want to say a couple of quick things before I let you go. First of all, I recognize some people will like this, some people will hate it. I've changed the set 4 times in the past before, and each time there were some people who really liked the changes and some people who wished it to go back to the way it was. Obviously, I can't put things back the way they were now, so hopefully you like it or will learn to tolerate it. Either way, I recognize, hey, it's a change, and you know, if the changes aren't finished either, I should mention, I'll probably add a couple other little accessories to the space here just to add a little more color. But right now, this is basically what you can expect to see in the future when we do other videos. I also want to say a quick thank you. And I know I've said thank you before. Don't worry, I'll continue to say it probably for the life of this show because I get to keep doing what I'm doing here and make these kind of renovations and changes, which hopefully improve the show over time, because of the support I get from people like you who watch. So thank you for caring about Watch It Played. Thank you for investing in this show and for supporting it. However you do that, whether it's just by watching it, giving it likes, subscribing, sharing with your friends, donating during our fundraisers, or whatever it is that you do, all of that means a great deal to me because I love being able to do this. And your support means that I can. So thank you for that. And listen, until the next episode, which hopefully won't be too far away, thanks for watching.